The harmattan wind, usually a dry whisper, felt thick with unspoken expectations as Sarah stepped onto the vibrant, bustling campus of Covenant University. A scholarship student from a humble background, she clutched her worn Bible like a lifeline. Her simple Ankara dress stood in stark contrast to the designer labels and flashy accessories of her new classmates. Among them, three figures dominated the social scene: Ifeanyi, the charming son of a prominent Lagos attorney; Adebayo, whose family owned a chain of high-end boutiques; and the dazzling Nkechi, whose parents were celebrated celebrity stylists. Their clique, known as the Sapphire Crew for their exclusive, sparkling aura, seemed to move in a different orbit, their laughter echoing a privileged world Sarah had only ever read about. Yet, there was an immediate pull, an almost magnetic allure to their effortless confidence and undeniable charisma, even as a quiet voice within her warned against the glittering facade. Sarah found herself sharing a room with Chika, a sweet-natured but easily swayed girl from Abuja, who quickly became enthralled by the Sapphires. Nkechi, with her perfectly arched eyebrows and knowing smile, had taken Chika under her wing, inviting her to exclusive campus parties and late-night study sessions that often devolved into gossip and whispered secrets. Sarah, however, politely declined these invitations, preferring the quiet solace of the library or the campus chapel. She poured herself into her studies, her grades quickly outshining many of her more affluent peers, a fact that did not go unnoticed by Nkechi, who eyed her with a mixture of curiosity and a hint of something darker, something akin to a simmering challenge. The unspoken tension between Sarah's quiet resolve and Nkechi's overt influence created an invisible battleground, with Chika often caught in the crossfire, her loyalty wavering between her new glamorous friends and her studious, principled roommate. Weeks turned into months, and Sarah's reputation as both an academic star and a devout Christian solidified. She became known for her unwavering faith, always ready with a comforting scripture or a wise word. This didn't deter the Sapphires; in fact, it seemed to pique Nkechi's interest even further. One afternoon, Nkechi approached Sarah in the cafeteria, her usual entourage noticeably absent. "Sarah," she began, her voice surprisingly soft, "there's a major inter-university competition coming up, the Innovate Nigeria Challenge. My team needs a strong mind for research and strategy. I've been watching you. You're brilliant. We want you on our team." The offer was enticing, a chance to represent her university on a national stage, an opportunity that could launch her career. But Nkechi's smile, though outwardly friendly, held a familiar glint of strategic calculation. The first few team meetings were surprisingly productive. Sarah's insights were invaluable, and even Nkechi, though initially resistant to some of Sarah's more unconventional ideas, had to admit her contributions were making a significant difference. However, as the competition drew closer, the team strategy sessions began to shift. They started late, often off campus at lavish penthouses belonging to Ifeanyi or Adebayo's families. The air would grow thick with expensive perfumes and the clinking of glasses filled with non-alcoholic, yet subtly intoxicating, concoctions. Conversations veered from competition strategy to whispers about the latest fashion trends, celebrity gossip, and, increasingly, thinly veiled temptations to cut corners, to network with judges in less than ethical ways, or to stretch the truth on their project's impact. Sarah felt the insidious pressure building, a subtle erosion of her values marked by the glittering promise of success and acceptance. The pressure intensified as the Innovate Nigeria Challenge loomed. Nkechi, now openly leading the charge, proposed a bold move for their final presentation. She had, through her connections, acquired what she claimed were insider tips on the judges' preferences, hinting that incorporating certain elements, even if slightly exaggerated or ethically ambiguous, would guarantee their victory. Adebayo and Efoni enthusiastically backed her, their eyes gleaming with the thrill of assured success. Chika, now fully integrated into the Sapphire crew, looked at Sarah with pleading eyes, silently urging her to conform, to not rock the boat. "It's just for the competition, Sarah," Chika whispered later, "everyone does it. Think of the exposure, the prize money, what it could mean for your future." The words echoed with a seductive logic, a siren song promising an easy path to the very success Sarah had always strived for, but at what cost? One evening, during a particularly intense strategy session at Adebayo's opulent family estate, Nkechi presented a meticulously crafted section of their presentation. It involved inflating their project's projected social impact, a move that would undoubtedly impress the judges but was a blatant misrepresentation of their actual progress. Sarah felt a knot tighten in her stomach. This was more than just stretching the truth, it was a lie, a direct violation of the principles she held dear. When she voiced her objections, gently but firmly, Nkechi's smile hardened. "Sarah, darling," she purred, "don't be so naive. This is how the real world works. Are you going to let your scruples hold us all back from victory? From a future we've all worked for?" The room fell silent, all eyes on Sarah. The weight of their collective ambition, the unspoken threat of exclusion, pressed down on her, testing the very foundations of her faith. Sarah spent a sleepless night, wrestling with the ethical dilemma. Her mind replayed Nkechi's words, the tantalizing promise of victory, the fear of disappointing her team, of being ostracized. But stronger still were the echoes of Scripture, the quiet wisdom of Psalm 1 verse 2, the steadfastness of Micaiah. She knew she couldn't compromise her integrity, not for any price. The next morning, with a newfound resolve, she approached Nkechi before their final rehearsal. "I cannot be part of a presentation that is not entirely truthful," she stated, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. Nkechi's eyes flashed with a cold fury she had rarely shown. "Fine," she snapped, "then you're out. We don't need dead weight." The Sapphires, without a word, turned their backs on Sarah, a silent, chilling dismissal. Chika, her face etched with conflict, avoided Sarah's gaze. Defeated but with a surprising sense of peace, Sarah walked away, prepared to face the consequences. However, a few days later, just before the competition's final round, a shocking piece of news spread like wildfire across campus. Nkechi's family, the celebrated celebrity stylist, had been embroiled in a massive scandal involving stolen designs and fraudulent endorsements. Their carefully constructed empire was crumbling, and Nkechi's once impeccable reputation was in tatters. The Sapphire crew, without Nkechi's dazzling leadership, seemed to lose its cohesion, their confidence shaken. The plot twist was both unexpected and scandalous, revealing a deeper, hidden rot within the very foundations of the seemingly perfect lives of the Sapphire crew, a rot that eerily mirrored the ethical compromises Nkechi had tried to force upon Sarah. The Innovate Nigeria Challenge proceeded, but without the Sapphire crew. Their project, now exposed as being built on flimsy, exaggerated claims, was disqualified, a quiet but firm testament to the university's commitment to integrity. Sarah, though no longer officially part of the team, was approached by one of the judges, an esteemed industry leader, who had heard whispers of her principled stance. Impressed by her academic record and her refusal to compromise, the judge offered Sarah an internship opportunity at a leading tech firm, an even greater opportunity than the competition prize could have offered. It was a clear demonstration of God's way of escape, a path forged by truth and integrity, leading her to a destiny far grander and more fulfilling than any superficial victory. In the aftermath, Chika, now free from the intoxicating spell of the Sapphire crew, sought Sarah out. Her eyes, once clouded by ambition, were now filled with remorse and understanding. "Sarah," she confessed, "I should have listened to you. I was so caught up in the glamour, in wanting to belong." Sarah, remembering the wisdom of Proverbs 27 verse 17, embraced her, offering forgiveness and a listening ear. Together, they began to rebuild their friendship, this time rooted in shared values and genuine support. The scandal had unveiled the true nature of fleeting friendships built on superficiality, revealing the profound strength and unwavering truth found in walking God's way. Sarah, rooted in His truth, had resisted the devil's allure, and in doing so, had found not only a way of escape but a path to true success and enduring friendship.